This is the multi-voice text-to-speech podfic reading of Wish List by wannabelilybriscoe, composed by Burning Aurora, Kaylana, and Flowerhawk.
Did you seriously just call your fingers magic?
Sirius hums, using those magic fingers to undo the button and fly on Remus's jeans.
There isn't a bug these fingers can't fix.
Are you implying that I'm a bug?
Well, I do think you could use a hotfix.
Oh my god.
But then Sirius takes him in hand, and well, fine, he might have a point. Outside, Ice clings to the twiggy branches and eavestroughs of Salem Avenue. Were an evening wanderer to make their way down the empty street, their boots would crunch on the gritty, slushy sidewalk, and the sound would be magnified in that way that only happens in the dead of winter, when time seems to slow, and every puff of breath crystallizes in the air before you like a sacred and ornamental wish. But in the basement of number 12, Salem Avenue, Remus finds himself engulfed in the heat of a private sun. With each languid pass of Sirius's tongue over the head of his cock, he's pulled closer to its molten center. Sirius hums thoughtfully, which is to say intentionally, the vibrations making Remus shudder. The feeling of his mouth pulling into a smile around the thing is a dead giveaway.
God.
Remus says like a compliment or a plea.
Just me, darling.
Sirius gets away with that cheesy line with another teasing lick. He's got one hand holding Remus steady at the base of his cock, and the other clutching his thigh in a way that feels proprietary.
Do you call every boy you sleep with darling?
Remus wonders, but doesn't dare to ask. The fact is that he's not quite sure how he ended up in this exact position, laid out on his back like he's lounging on the beach, while Sirius Black rolls over him like the tide. And while on the topic of the sun, Remus hasn't had the nerve to look right at Sirius since he made the trip southward. It's not for a lack of wanting to, only that it's been a long time since someone has done this to him, and he's certain that once he gets the full picture of Sirius between his legs, he's not going to last. It's all a lot overwhelming. Thoughts skitter around in his head like marbles.
Yes, finally.
And,
Fuck yeah.
clacking up against.
Holy shit, why me?
It's unreal that a migraine and an ice storm have somehow resulted in Remus tumbling into bed with Sirius Black. Frankly, he worries he's blowing his chance, damn it. Unfortunate turn of phrase. Because despite how Remus had been the one to initiate things, Sirius is the one blowing him, while Remus hasn't done fuck all yet. No, instead of leading Sirius luxuriously to orgasm like he intended, he'd gone and had a patented Remus Lupin moment of panic right as they hit the bed. Thus, the tone has been set. Remus, bumbling and inexperienced with men, and Sirius, cool and collected, needing to show him the ropes.
Oh.
He gasps as Sirius suddenly takes him fully in his mouth. It's obscenely good. Yes, this whole situation is obscene. In Sirius's room on his bed, naked while Sirius still has his pants on. God, he's still half-dressed and Remus is entirely bare. And Remus hasn't felt this excited in a very long time, and... He chokes out as Sirius gives another throaty hum, this time felt down the entire length of him. His hands. Surely, Remus should be doing something with his hands right now. Something more useful than just scrabbling at the duvet, clenching and unclenching his fingers with each wave of sensation that passes over him. Maybe he should kiss Sirius again. Surprise him by throwing him back against the bed and ravish him. Show him that he can be a strong and capable lover, or do something other than just lie back while Sirius does all the work. The broad hand on his thigh begins to stroke up and down, massaging the meat of his muscle. Then, the palm glides from Remus's thigh to his pelvis, rubbing in soothing circles against his lower belly, which somehow both relaxes him and increases the intensity of feeling in his cock, before dipping back down between his legs to cradle his balls. It's such a thoughtful touch that it sends a new wave of disbelief crashing over him. Really, he should thank Sirius for doing this. It's awfully nice of him to go down on Remus first, and he's doing a bang-up job. But it would definitely be weird to say thank you mid-blowjob, wouldn't it? The problem is that he's out of practice. He got so used to sex with Emmeline when they were together that he forgot how awkward the first time with someone is. What if Sirius thinks he's being selfish for just lying here and taking it? Does he expect Remus to do something? Or does he get off on being in control? He seems to be enjoying himself, if the enthusiasm with which he is currently bobbing up and down is any indication. But Sirius has slept with more people than him, so he might just be good at performing. Oh, Remus hopes Sirius is enjoying this. He groans as Sirius does something with his tongue against the head of Remus's cock, that is nothing short of impressive before taking him in fully. For a blissful moment, thoughts turn liquid and slide away like ice droplets melting down a window pane.
Fuck, so close.
He reaches blindly for Sirius, fingers snagging in his hair, finding it still damp from the shower but so soft. God, how does a guy have hair this soft? It's ridiculous. For a brief moment, a shock of cold as Sirius pulls off, just long enough for Sirius's low voice to command him.
Regarde-moi, Remus. Look what you do to me.
Before diving back in. Finally, he does. Damn. The image is just as erotic as he knew it would be.
Crease.
He groans deep in his throat.
Shit, gonna.
There's a glottal sound as Sirius takes him all the way down. Remus's vision narrows down to a white, poker-hot point, and he comes in Sirius's mouth. Gradually, the static in his ears dissipates, and the world comes back into focus. He notices that his fingers are still tangled in Sirius's hair, and that Sirius is resting his head against his thigh.
Look at you.
Sirius's voice is raw, his breath hot and damp against the skin of Remus's inner thigh.
What am I going to do with you,
Remus glances down again. What he finds is Sirius gazing up at him with an expression that is disarmingly fond. His heart stutters and skips a beat.
I think you just did it.
Is Remus's dumb reply. Carefully, he extracts his hand from Sirius's hair and scrubs it over his face as everything that just happened crashes down on him.
I'm sorry.
A pause. The mattress shifts beside him. When he pulls his hands away from his eyes, Sirius's face hovers over him. In the soft, low light of the room, his features are dark, the outline of his head traced by a fine and golden line. Lovely, even though he's frowning.
Why are you sorry?
Of course Sirius is going to make him say it.
Because spunked in your mouth.
Sirius's mouth gives a dramatic twitch before he gets a handle on it.
I didn't mind.
Remus covers his face again.
You're laughing at me.
I'm not.
The hand that, mere moments ago, was wrapped around Remus's cock, gently pries his hand away from his face.
Hey, I'm not Remus.
There's no choice but to meet those Winter Lake eyes, and then he's done for. There really are no two ways about it. Sirius is gorgeous. He could be a statue, except that he's so full of life. Brimming and burning with it, the center of every room. There was no way Remus wasn't going to end up in his orbit. Some people just draw you in, and you can't even blame them for it because it's just who they are, and that's Sirius. And for some reason, Sirius has decided to pick Remus out of all the other people around him and pull him closer. For now, at least. Sirius gathers both of Remus's hands and holds them in a gesture that feels more intimate than it should, for how long they've known each other. They both said that they like each other, but Remus doesn't know what that means exactly. What does Sirius want from him? More or only this? He looks down at their clasped hands, and below them, Sirius is still hard-cocked. His brain finally catches up enough to remind him that he is still, presently, blowing his chance.
What about you?
He asks far too late. Sirius tilts his head, reminding Remus for a moment of Padfoot.
What about me?
Don't you want me to, finish you?
Smooth. Very smooth. Could someone just finish him right now? He watches closely as Sirius closes his mouth. Swallows.
Yeah, only if you want to.
Remus Lupin, you monumental idiot. You're in bed with Sirius, the sweet, ridiculously attractive guy who made an actual book for you. And somehow you've got him wondering if you even want to be here. How did you go and manage that? Of course I do.
Remus hastens to reassure him. Before he can go and say something to muck this up further, he kisses Sirius. A firm press of their lips, one that he hopes will leave no room for Sirius to misunderstand his intentions. Sirius kisses him back, thank God, his tongue swiping against the seam of Remus's lips, asking to be let in. Elated, Remus opens his mouth to deepen their kiss. Does he want to? He doesn't think he's ever wanted something more. Propelled by that simple truth, he pushes Sirius by the shoulders and lays him down against the pillows. They continue to kiss while Remus gathers his nerves, until finally he pulls back. Sirius chases his retreating lips. Encouraged by this, Remus places a palm flat against Sirius's chest and holds him down. This seems to please Sirius, because his smile widens, eyes sparking playfully. Does he want to? How could anyone not want to, with Sirius looking up at them like he is right now, eyes bright, lips kiss-bitten, hair a dark whirl around him. The fact that Remus gets to means that he is the luckiest loser alive. No more wasting time. Remus moves down the smooth plane of Sirius's body until he hovers above his hips, where his jeans are tenting with the strain of his arousal. Taking a steadying breath, he sets to work getting them off, fumbling with the button. Sirius helps him along, kicking the jeans off and sending them flying somewhere over the side of the bed. Then he leans back against the pillow with his hands clasped behind his head and an indulgent smile that says,
Go on.
so cocky, but also so assured, like he expects Remus to know what to do. Surprisingly, he finds it fortifying. Though his experience with other men may be limited, he knows what to do with this part of the male body, knows what feels good. Boldly holding eye contact with Sirius, Remus gives the palm of his own hand a long, broad lick, aiming to make a show of it, watching how Sirius's lips part as he tracks the movement. He wraps his hand around Sirius and begins to move it in the way he likes to do to himself, long steady strokes, squeezing tighter around the head. With another thrill, he watches Sirius's smile fall into an O and his head tip back, exposing the line of his neck. It doesn't take long after that. Remus is treated to a montage of expressions and sounds that he tries to catalog for later. It's surreal watching Sirius unravel, all that skin and curling black ink and toned muscle straining under Remus's hand, like he's slipped into a dream or another person's life. Remus wonders if he should return the favor and use his mouth, but then the pitch of Sirius's moans change, his body goes taut, and he comes over both their fists.
Fuck.
Sirius pants. A fine sheen of sweat has broken out over his skin, like he's been dipped in glaze.
You are something.
Perhaps a bit too quickly, Remus lets him go, casts an awkward look around for somewhere to wipe his hand. With a smirk, Sirius sits up on his elbows and takes Remus by the wrist. He brings Remus's hand to his mouth and without breaking eye contact, licks it clean. The feel of Sirius's tongue between his fingers sends a current of shivers from his fingertips to his toes. When his last finger is released with a little pop, Sirius keeps hold of his wrist. For a naked moment, they stare at each other. Sirius's eyebrows pull together.
Good.
Sirius asks. Words have once again failed R.J. Lupin. He only nods. A gentle tug on his wrist, and Remus follows. Their heads rest on the same pillow, breathing shared air as they continue to look at each other in silence. Remus knows he should say something now, but he has no idea what. There's a little divot between Sirius's eyebrows where they draw together. Something has shifted on his face. He's thinking something. Gray eyes scan over Remus like he's trying to read him, and Remus finds himself feeling cracked open at the spine.
Was that good for you?
Sirius asks.
Just say something.
He tells himself impatiently.
Explain. You're both naked anyway. No point hiding.
I liked it. I'm just nervous.
I can tell.
Sirius says.
Why?
Remus wets his lips, looks down at the pillow.
I don't want to mess this up, after everything that's already happened.
Their kiss last month, and Remus's avoidance the next day. His whole awkward spiral about not showering. The job offer he's too cowardly to come clean about. And now, all this fumbling in what should be a seamless and magic first time in bed together. And then there's the other thing, that although he is comfortable enough to tell anyone who asks that he is bisexual, the fact of the matter is that he was in a monogamous relationship with a woman for 3 years before this. The thing that has him feeling like he has one foot in queer spaces and one foot out, always conscious of how much space he himself is taking up, worried that he is taking up too much. The shoulder-curling, voice-dampening self-consciousness of not being queer enough. Now, in bed with another man who he really likes, he feels like an imposter who needs to prove himself. His eyes flit back up to Sirius. Still frowning, Sirius leans in and kisses him softly. Remus closes his eyes and tries to focus on only this. When they part, Sirius says,
You're not messing this up. I'm really happy we did that. I've wanted to for a long time.
There's a question tucked between the words.
Me too.
Remus tells him earnestly, then rueful.
I'm just sorry I lay there while you did all the work.
Sirius bites his lip as a laugh threatens to take over again. It's terribly charming when he does this.
I love doing that to you.
Sirius's eyes flit down to Remus's mouth. Back up.
There's a lot more I would like to do to you if you let me.
What sorts of things?
He wants to ask. A million nebulous possibilities take flight in Remus's head. That's the problem. Remus doesn't know where to begin, or what the correct progression is for this. Smile going all soft again. Sirius takes Remus's hand in his and laces their fingers together.
Anyway, you did return the favor after which I do normally last longer than that. For the record.
He's being so nice to Remus. Oh fuck it. Better just lay it all out so Sirius knows what he's getting into.
The thing is, when I said it's been a while since I slept with a man, what I meant was that I've only hooked up with a guy once, and I was drunk, so I don't really know what I'm doing.
There's a still moment where Sirius seems to take in those words. Then, he buries his face in the pillow and groans, tilts his head just enough to peek at Remus with one eye.
You're killing me, Lupin, do you know that? You're so bloody cute.
Remus feels himself flush all over again. Sirius's eyes widen in disbelief.
There you go again. Like you have no idea how sexy you are. You should come with a warning. Lethally cute.
He sees fit to kiss Remus about it, apparently, which works for him. Better to be swept up in Sirius Black's kiss, and the feel of his hands roaming over his shoulders, his arms, his waist. Eventually, Sirius pulls back with a giddy grin, planting a little kiss on the tip of Remus's nose.
I don't care if you've mostly slept with women, assuming you and your ex shagged.
Remus gives him an impatient look like, duh. Sirius's smile widens, and he smacks another kiss on Remus's nose.
We'll figure it out as we go.
He tells Remus, rubbing his hands up and down his arms soothingly.
You'll be like my sexy little Padawan.
As we go, like he fully intends to keep doing this with Remus. So pleased, Remus gives an exasperated scoff.
You're so cheesy. You make such bad jokes with everyone you sleep with.
Please say no. Please say I'm special.
Nah, you're just especially fun to annoy.
Yay, yay, yay.
Squeak the butterflies in Remus's stomach. He narrows his eyes at Sirius to distract from them.
It's not like I'm totally clueless.
He tries to backtrack.
Oh.
Sirius practically purrs.
Been watching some dirty films, have you, R.J. Lupin? Reading some smutty romance.
Fan fiction, actually. But he is not about to admit to that at this juncture.
You pick stuff up, here and there.
I bet.
Sirius raises his eyebrows appraisingly. Pinning Remus with his gaze, he moves so he's on top of him again, arms braced on either side of Remus's head. Warm body spread along warm body.
And tell me, Remus, what sorts of ideas have you gotten from here and there? Anything at the top of your wish list?
You, and you. Anyway, you'll let me have you.
Nothing in particular.
He says indifferently. Feigning disappointment, Sirius sighs.
I don't believe that.
Shouldn't you know? Jedi mind tricks or whatever.
Only dark side Jedis read minds, Remus, and I have a feeling your resistance to the mind probe would be considerable.
Sirius Black is, without a doubt, a huge nerd.
Besides,
Sirius says smoothly.
I'd rather find other ways to convince you to tell me.
Slowly, intentionally, he rolls his hips against Remus, eliciting a damning gasp. Things start to stir again down low, but at least it seems to be mutual.
I'll bet you have all sorts of torrid fantasies going on in there.
Sirius taps Remus's temple.
I simply can't believe that you, R.J. Lupin, illustrious writer, wouldn't have a few ideas for how you'd like to take a strapping lad for a spin.
With an aggrieved huff, Remus swats his hand away.
Sometimes you talk like a cartoon character.
Sirius barks a laugh, smooths a hand over Remus's hair, a soothing and familiar gesture that essentially reduces him to a pile of goo.
Come on, Lupin, tell me. I'm game for most things as long as you're comfortable with it.
Remus does, in fact, have several ideas for what he would like to do with Sirius. The problem is that he has no idea how to ask for them. It's not even that he wants anything particularly out there, it's just that to talk about it feels exposing. Hello, here are my deepest desires held up for you to scrutinize. Worse, what if Sirius finds the things he wants to do completely mundane, thereby only highlighting how boring and inexperienced Remus is? It's embarrassing, immature. He's not even a virgin. He's had plenty of sex, just not like this, with someone like Sirius. In the name of procrastination, Remus smooths his hands down Sirius's back. Sirius sags deeper against him.
I think.
Sirius cocks his head again, eyes roaming over his face with unfiltered curiosity. Remus isn't used to being looked at so intently. He has the ridiculous notion of being an exhibit at a museum and Sirius, a patron, leaning in closer to read the plaque. Remus swallows, wets his lips. Sirius leans closer in anticipation. Suddenly, Remus gets a stroke of inspiration. If there's one thing he has learned about Sirius Black in these few months, it's that he loves a challenge.
I think I'd rather make you figure it out yourself.
A spark in Sirius's eyes. Remus guessed correctly. Fingernails drag along Remus's scalp, sending pleasant shivers coursing through him. Sirius feigns boredom, clearly very pleased.
Going to make me work for it.
Moving with confident fluidity, Sirius runs a hand down one of Remus's arms, taking his wrist and bringing it up to rest on the pillow above his head. Then he does the same to the other. The stern look he gives Remus makes it clear that he is meant to leave them where they are.
All right then. We'll go by process of elimination, starting with the basics.
Fingers carting through Remus's hair, he gives the curls a tug, just enough to send a spike of pleasure pain through his scalp. As though a button has just been pressed, Remus gasps.
Is that a yes then?
A slight nod. Sirius scolds lightly.
You're going to need to use your words.
A short stare-off ensues, until another tug at his hair has Remus conceding.
Yes.
Thank you.
The fingers in his hair trace down his face to his lips.
Next, open up.
Remus snorts self-consciously, but when Sirius levels him with another stern raise of his brows, he does as he's told. 2 long fingers slip into his mouth, the pads resting on his tongue.
Go on then, give them a suck.
His rush of embarrassment at this simple instruction feels more erotic than anything. Exhaling sharply through his nose, he complies, swirls his tongue around the digits, and give them a good, hard suck. As though he's pressed a button, Sirius makes a low, pained sound in his throat. Remus takes that as an indication to take the fingers in deeper.
Good.
Sirius says thickly.
You'd like something bigger, wouldn't you?
Remus laughs around Sirius's fingers and pulls off.
I think you would.
That earns him a delighted chuckle in return.
Well spotted.
Sirius drawls.
But we're not figuring out what I like right now. I'll more than happily tell you all the filthy things I'd like us to do to each other.
That sends an electric shiver zipping up and down from head to toe.
How long is your list?
He asks, incriminatingly breathless.
Oh, it's very long. I'm afraid we won't be able to cover it all in one session.
Oh no.
We could expedite this if you tell me what you want.
Remus pretends to think about it, pulls his lips between his teeth, and shakes his head. Sirius seems perfectly fine with this response, mirroring Remus's head shake with mock regret.
Well, if we must keep going.
The 2 spit-covered fingers trail down Remus's chin, over the curvature of his Adam's apple, his sternum, before landing on a nipple and circling it lightly. It raises a small shiver across Remus's chest. He has never found his nipples to be particularly sensitive, but Sirius being the one to give them attention does add to the sensation. Sirius cocks a questioning brow.
Not so much. What about?
A pinch has Remus's hips bucking, more from the shock than anything. But the tingle after isn't unpleasant.
Oh, something there.
They carry on in this way for some time, Sirius testing and teasing him with patient precision, coaxing Remus's confirmation at each stop. It's relaxing, the methodical glide and rub of Sirius's hands, those long fingers and tattooed forearms, working in tandem with the hot press and lick of his mouth. Where earlier, they'd both been hurried and frantic, speeding forward on the elation of their reciprocated feelings and the need to seize the moment before it slipped away, this feels unrushed. Where earlier, Remus felt insecure about lying back while Sirius gave him pleasure, now it all feels like part of their game. There's a reciprocity in that. He can tell Sirius is enjoying this just as much as him, judging by his focused expression, and how hard he's become against Remus's hip. Different from how things were with Emmeline, as the man in the relationship, he'd felt the responsibility to take on a more proactive role. But now, he sees how one can be proactive while being on the receiving end as well. Sirius, seeking out his approval, and Remus, deciding whether or not to give it to him, knowing that the approval or the denial will both be accepted. Welcomed even. Another piece of the puzzle for Sirius to mull over, another item on the list for him to add a check mark or an X beside. This thought, and the low drag of Sirius's voice, the anticipation of what he'll try next, has Remus trembling and breathing heavier as things progress with a steady build. He wonders, does Sirius like all of these things he's trying? If they were to swap places, how might he carefully unravel Sirius, touch by exploratory touch? Sirius walks his fingers up the inside of Remus's thigh like a pair of compasses walking across a map, past his balls and straining cock and lower, counting paces until he reaches new territory Remus has not yet ventured into with another person. He takes a shaky breath. With his other hand, Sirius tilts Remus's face to meet his eyes.
Yes.
Sirius asks. He lightly caresses the crease where Remus's leg meets his pelvis.
Yeah.
Remus says, trying to play it cool. Big hands splay across his thighs and spread them wider, making way for the cool basement air to reach his most intimate place. Then the fingertips return, moving in closer to that center point that he has only ever touched himself, curiously, in the private of his own bed. Never something Emmeline was interested in herself, and so, never something he asked her for.
Is this something you've done before?
Sirius asks. Swallowing down his embarrassment, aware that he's gone red, Remus shakes his head.
All right, we'll go slow.
Sirius soothes.
Just around the outside at first, yeah. We don't have to go all in today.
Okay.
Remus breathes, unsure whether he is relieved or disappointed by that. The fingers between his legs inch closer. In a rush of embarrassment, Remus asks.
Is this something you like?
Sirius exhales a chuckle.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Remus repeats, without a plan for where to go next. He sees Sirius is scanning over him again, no doubt taking in his stuttering breaths, the tension gathering in his body, not just from anticipation, but also nerves, self-doubt.
Hey, if you don't want to do this right now, you can tell me. We can do something else.
Sirius's tone is so gentle that it sort of makes it worse. Makes him feel more ridiculous. The thing is, Remus does want this. At least, he's pretty sure he does. He liked how it felt when he did it to himself. Only, now he feels unprepared now to do it with someone else. Only, he's worried it will be gross and Sirius will be turned off him forever. Only, he wonders if he won't like it after all, and what that will mean about him as a queer man. But Sirius said it's something he likes, which means that he is well acquainted with that area, which means that he must not have an issue with whatever situations can arise there. So Remus just has to man up and go boldly forward.
I do.
The bed rocks violently as 70 pounds of dog barrels into them.
God damn it, Padfoot.
Sirius exclaims. It takes Remus a moment to recover from the shell shock of being covered in slobbery dog tongue. Sputtering, he pushes the dog away from his face.
I am so sorry.
Sirius says, wrapping his arms around Padfoot and hauling him off the bed.
I didn't think about. I'm going to just take him upstairs and give him some food to distract him.
Padfoot thrashes in Sirius's grasp until he relinquishes him. Excited to have his human's attention, Padfoot whines and prances around his legs. Grumbling at the dog and incredibly naked, Sirius inches towards the door and holds a hand up to Remus.
I'll be right back, all right? Just stay right there, please.
And then in a flurry, Sirius and Padfoot are gone, their footsteps thundering up the stairs. The bedroom holds its breath.
Holy shit.
Remus mutters to the ceiling. Another unfortunate turn of phrase that has him groaning and digging his palms into his eye sockets.
God.
Okay. He takes stock of recent events. Sirius and he spent the day together, frolicking through High Park in what wasn't a date, but also wasn't not a date. They returned home to a shower, thus resolving the stink issue, and Sirius gave Remus an immensely thoughtful gift. Overcome, Remus kissed him, and Sirius kissed him back, and they told each other that they like each other, which led to Remus receiving what was easily the best blowjob of his life, and delivering a belated handjob that probably was nowhere near the best of Sirius's life, and somehow, that still resulted in Sirius wanting to have more sex with him. And yet, Remus has still managed to find a way to let his anxiety bring things to a halt. The dog interrupting them feels like a sign from the universe. His chance has been blown. Surely, with some space between them, Sirius is going to realize that Remus is more trouble than he's worth. Which means that when Sirius returns, no doubt to let Remus down easy, Remus is going to have to work doubly hard to convince him to give this thing with him another go. If that's even possible at this point.
You know what you have to do, Remus.
The chastising voice in his head wheezes.
Make him an offer he can't refuse.
Remus groans again.
Shut up, Marlon Brando.
What?
With a jolt, Remus rips his hands from his eyes. Sirius is back, framed by the bedroom doorway. The light is on in the room beyond the door, and it halos him like some kind of holy icon. Dumbfounded and utterly starstruck, Remus runs his eyes over his figure, his dark hair, his graceful neck, the broad lines of his shoulders and the slender nip of his waist, and those jagged hip bones, the muscled thighs and calves. But what really steals Remus's breath from him is the look of wonderment on his face. How those gray eyes running all over him in return, like he is just as amazed to be seeing Remus as Remus is to be seeing him.
Hi.
Sirius says. Remus replies. Sirius's next words are low and syrup smooth.
I was thinking that maybe we can go about this in another way.
Remus gulps.
What?
Slowly, purposefully, Sirius approaches him with the grace of a lion stalking its prey.
You asked me what I like. What if I show you? Then you can see just how much I like it and decide if it's something you want to try sometime.
Sirius kneels on the bed and crawls toward Remus. Another gulp that goes down coarse like a ball of sandpaper. Is Sirius suggesting what he thinks he might be?
What did you have in mind?
The other man hovers over him, his hair falling around them in a black curtain.
I want you to get in me.
The air crackles between them. Sirius leans in and kisses Remus softly on the lips, whispers against his mouth.
Would you like to try that, Remus?
Remus is a metal rod in a lightning storm.
Yes.
Their kiss could scorch the face of the sun.
He still wants me.
Remus thinks ecstatically as Sirius rolls them over so Remus is on top.
He still wants me.
As he fumbles in the bedside drawer for where Sirius says the bottle of lube can be found. It's a flipping of scripts, a return to territory that feels more familiar, but still new, and still with Sirius as his guide. Leading him down this unwalked path, Sirius tells him how to circle him, warming him up, when to press his finger in, and when to add another, how fast to move them, when to crook them upwards, and again and again.
Just like that, you better not stop doing that, Lupin.
Blissfully, Remus follows his instructions, rewarded each step of the way with a new pleasured sound, a new flickering expression that's gone too soon, replaced by yet another one he wants to collect for himself alone. When Sirius finally rolls Remus onto his back and sinks down onto him, it feels like a revelation. Yes, he does like this, and yes, he wants to keep doing it, but not with just anyone, with Sirius, this person who has led him, generously and without judgment, to this place of tender affirmation. This sex is both similar and different from any sex he's had before. It's better in every way because it's with Sirius. Remus grips Sirius's thighs, which are hairier and more muscly than a woman's, but he likes it, likes the texture against his fingers, the power driving each movement. He plants his feet on the mattress and pushes up into Sirius, urging his movements on. So tight, it doesn't look like it should fit, but it does over and over again, and Sirius is almost too bright to look at, the way he's smiling and demanding more, like he knows he deserves his pleasure. He moves over Remus and under his hands like water over river rocks, undulating muscles and shining sweat, wanton moans that flow from him freely. He looks like he's having the time of his life up there, and it stokes Remus's desire, makes him drive up into Sirius's warmth harder, faster, until his glutes burn from the effort. If it feels as good as Sirius is making it seem, then yes, he would like to try it sometime, and yes, he would like to do more of this with Sirius, more serious, yes, forever. The moments after are shy and supple. They kiss some more, and when Remus murmurs thank you, he's rewarded with a soft laugh. They take turns cleaning up in the bathroom, laughing some more when Sirius can't help but walk a bit funny. They stand naked in the middle of the basement living room and kiss while their hands roam all over each other. They remember that they ordered pizza, and by now, it should be waiting for them on the doorstep. They pull on their pants, Sirius foregoing his boxers entirely, to trundle upstairs for some much-needed sustenance. Sirius holds the pizza box up with a triumphant smile, his bare torso covered in goose bumps from the cold outdoor air. So attractive holding the stupid pizza that Remus laughs yet again. Sirius catches his laugh, and they both keep giggling as they scarf down the cold pizza at the kitchen table. Neither of them seems to know why they keep breaking into giggle fits, or why they're unable to stop. Sirius will simply catch Remus's eye right as he's about to take a bite, or Sirius will wince a little as he shifts his bum in his seat, and Remus will notice, and then one of them will snort, and then they'll both be giggling again, like they're intoxicated on each other's company and the knowledge of what they've just done together. It all feels very domestic. They make steady work of the pizza, feeding small bites to Padfoot until they're down to the last 2 slices. Sirius sizes up one of the slices before deciding that, yes, he would like it, and takes it. As he does this, Remus watches him, traces the lines of Sirius's face with his eyes, over and over again, to commit them to memory. A thought takes shape in his mind, clear, crystalline, and so delicate that he's afraid to hold it too tightly.
I think I'm going to like you for a long time, Sirius Black.
There's a shift inside of him, a sense of determination. Like ink scrawling across a fresh page, Remus leans across the tables and plucks the pizza from Sirius's hand, dropping it onto his plate. Sirius's eyes widen with mock affront.
Hey, I'm not finished with that.
Feeling very awake, Remus stands and moves to Sirius. bends down and tilts Sirius's face towards him with his fingertips.
I'm not finished with you.
Sirius meets his kiss halfway. Much like how this all began, they stumble back downstairs, kissing along the way. The pants come off again, the door closes behind them so it latches this time, and the bed dips under their shared weight as they sink back into each other. These kisses are slow, deep, and decadent. They feel like getting to know you kisses, learning the depths of each other's mouths as their hands learn the contours of each other's bodies, caressing and squeezing with relaxed indulgence. Up close, Remus is free to take deep breaths of Sirius's smell, to taste his tongue and the salt on his neck. He's free to take greedy handfuls of Sirius's ass, to roll his hips against him and feel his responding shudder along the length of his body. It's not unlike the feeling of sinking into a bath after being out in the cold, the longing, followed by the warm wash of relief. There is a list of things that Remus would like to do with Sirius, but right now, they're both tired from their earlier sex and full from their dinner. Next time, if there will be a next time, which it seems like there will be, maybe they can try them. For now, he lets himself savor the experience of making out with Sirius.
Tell me something else in French.
Sirius demands. Remus raises his brows.
Fishing for more compliments.
Yes, don't I deserve it?
Of course he does. He deserves a goddamn medal for how patient and kind he's been to Remus today, and since they first met, really. Because he can, he brushes the smooth line of Sirius's cheekbone like he did last night while he slept, tucking a few loose strands of hair behind his ear.
Tu me rends fou, Sirius. Tu me donnes l'impression que ma vie pourrait être bien excitante, juste tant que t'es dedans.
And there it is, that fantastic Sirius black smile. There are no words that could fully capture the way that smile makes him feel. As such, Remus has no choice but to kiss him again and again after. A kiss and. Taking Sirius into his mouth feels like a confirmation that wishes can sometimes come true just because you ask for them. Something to be savored, he takes his time with it, teasing flicks of his tongue that render Sirius a cursing and writhing mess, his fingers buried in Remus's hair, steering his head to urge him on, a plaything for Sirius to move around as he pleases. When Sirius tugs at Remus's hair and gasps,
Up, get up here, I want to kiss you.
Remus follows without fuss. When Sirius wraps his hand around both of them at the same time, Remus pants openly into his waiting mouth, amazed that life could feel this good, this verdant in the dead of winter. And in the loamy afterglow, while they both catch their breaths, Remus puts a hand over his own heart, just to feel it beating.
What do you want to do tomorrow?
You,
Haha.
whatever you want to do, darling. Let's see what we feel like in the morning.
Okay.
A dip in the bed, and the harsh light of a phone screen.
Oh, look at that. It's past midnight.
Wow, how'd it get so late?
Time flies when you're having a bum.
A snort, an exasperated grumble. A loud yawn that makes Padfoot's ears twitch.
Do you want me to go to James's room?
Lupin, if you think I'm going to let you out of this bed before morning, you've got another thing coming to you.
Oh yeah. What if I have to pee?
Hope your aim and velocity is good enough to reach the toilet from here.
The rustling of bedsheets.
Hey, Sirius. Merry Christmas.
Benite. Thanks for listening to this text-to-speech podfic composed by Burning Aurora, Kaylana, and Flowerhawk.